I'm sure there's like a video on YouTube though where someone set it up like with all the retro stuff, all the consoles and everything. They just plug it in HDMI or whatever and then it works. Oh wait, did I set my... I put the lasagna in the oven. I gotta set the timer for an hour and 15 minutes. Alright, cool. Okay, so I gotta leave in an hour and 15 minutes to take it out of the oven. And then put it back in the oven, but without the top. What's odd about this game is, oddly enough, I like the NES version the best. Like, the Super Nintendo version's okay, and the Genesis version, I think, is better than the Super Nintendo version? I don't know, I could be wrong. Like, I just kind of feel like it's better on the Genesis and the NES for some reason. And I still think the NES version is better than the 16-bit versions. Oh yeah, the original Quake. It's not actually Quake though. It runs the Power Slave engine. Because it's made by the same guys that made Power Slave, and they couldn't actually port Quake. So what they did was they ported all the levels to the Power Slave engine. So it has stuff that the Power Slave engine has, like colored lighting and stuff. That's how they were able to get it to work. Power Slave's a really good FPS though for the Saturn. It was also released on the PlayStation. Though I think people say the Saturn version's the better version. I had it on the PlayStation. I liked it then. It's pretty tough though, because there's a lot of jumps. There's a PC version of Power Slave floating around, but I think that's based on the PlayStation version. It's also been taken down, so it's no longer like... Because I guess the guy that owns the rights to Power Slaves doesn't want it out, which is kind of stupid. If that's the case, then like, release a commercially available version of Power Slave. Which is called Exhumed in England because of Iron Maiden. So apparently Iron Maiden has a history of not liking first-person shooters. Like, or 90s-based first-person shooters, like how they did with that one game, Ion Maiden. It had to change their name to Ion Fury. So... Power Slave is more like a Metroid than a first-person shooter, but it is pretty badass. Like, it works with the Sega Saturn's analog controller, too. And the Sega Saturn analog controller has, the L and R triggers are analog, and you use that to strafe, so you can actually change the speed of your strafe. And then you use the left analog, to, like, move around and look. And so you can actually, like, you know, it actually supports the analog, so if you move it a little bit, you move slowly. If you move it fast, you move at full speed. Yeah, it's one of the best FPSs out there, like, for that generation, for console, obviously, because it's like, you know, and like, a lot of people have trouble with, like, going back to GoldenEye because of the controls and stuff. If you're like that, then I wouldn't recommend Power Slave, but... Speaking of GoldenEye, apparently there's a lot of hacks for GoldenEye that work on real hardware that I might check out. Like, there's one that makes the game, goddamn, Goldfinger. Like, it gives you Sean Connery as Bond, and then the levels are based on Goldfinger. Then there's like a Perfect Dark mod that makes it GoldenEye, or GoldenEye, it's called like GoldenEye X. Now the question is, I don't know, I know these mods will work on real hardware, but I wonder if they were designed with real hardware in mind or with emulators, because I find that with some hacks that are designed for emulators, especially like N64 hacks, they don't care about the frame rate because the emulator can like push through the frame rate. But on a real system, it's like the frame rate can tank like really bad. Comes a Bobo. Okay, so the main thing about this hack for this game is that it changes the colors to be a little bit, I guess, more arcade looking rather than like kind of the garish colors that we had. Because that was the problem with a lot of Genesis games is the Genesis is able of doing really good colors, but a lot of developers either A, did not want to do that, or B, didn't know how to do it any better. Already, this is pretty fun. No, the second level is my favorite. It looks great on the NES. It does a lot of the fake 3D scaling. I think this is why the Genesis version is better. I think when they're beaten up, they have blood on them and stuff. The Super Nintendo, they don't. 'Cause, you know, censorship, because you can't have that, I guess. I don't know. Maybe one day I'll take a look at both of them, like, you know, side by side. And then decide, like, what is the definitive 16-bit version of Battletoads and Double Dragon? I know someone else has probably already done that, but sometimes I like to do that just for fun, just myself. Also, sometimes the people that do that are wrong, or at least I don't agree with their opinion. So what's cool about this second level is if you look at the floor, when I move forward, it kind of has a semi-3D effect. It becomes more evident once I get the bike. Alright, well, I'm liking this hack. I think the colors are looking a lot better. Let's get this. Also, think about this. This is a rare game on the Genesis, you know? Like, they were later on known to just make Nintendo games for a long time. But this was before Donkey Kong Country and shit, so... This was when they were still, like, not really owned by Nintendo. Which I find interesting to see, like, Rare on non-Nintendo systems. I mean, obviously now Rare they're owned by Microsoft. And I've been playing Sea of Thieves and Killer Instinct, and I really liked Killer Instinct, and Sea of Thieves is actually a lot of fun. Then again, I even like some of the stuff they made for the Xbox, like the 360, like Viva Pinata. I thought that was okay. But they certainly were not the level that they were back in the Donkey Kong Country and Star Fox days. And it sounds like they're kind of coming back and being like a legit, you know, not just making like Kinect Games developer, you know? Like they're making like legit games that are like important to the industry again. Though there are some things that, like, what sucks about... You know, I know Microsoft is bringing a lot of Xbox games to the PC, but they still need to bring, like, the Battletoads arcade game, the original Killer Instinct arcade game. Like, it'd be nice if they brought, like, if everything that could be played on the Xbox One could be played on the PC. And you could give me the argument, like, well, if they did that, then there's no reason to buy an Xbox One, but I'd also make the argument that a lot of people... especially casual gamers, tend not to really upgrade their PCs for gaming. Or like at all. So, you know, it's not like everyone that has a PC will play those games on PC. They'd still probably buy a console just because it's easier. Shit, I know a lot of people that, like, primarily game just on console. They don't game at all on PC, so... But it would be nice for people that do have, like, the horsepower, you know, like the graphics cards and the processor and the RAM to be able to play, like, Xbox games. So I don't see that really, like, cutting into their demographic. If anything, I just see that making them more money. Why am I so slow climbing up this ladder? Let me get that power pill. Guy has like one big left hand for some reason. I guess he's like a mutant? I don't know. Alright, so now you really see the floor effects once it speeds up. Like, it kind of looks like the floor is like three-dimensional. Like, that's a neat little trick they did here. And it's also on the NES version. In fact, on the NES version it looks better. Possibly because you don't expect that out of the NES, so when you see it, you're like, wow. It's weird, though, because you would think the Genesis and the Super Nintendo versions of this game would be superior. I kind of feel that way about Battletoads on the Genesis. Like, you would think that the Genesis version would be better than the NES version, and in some ways it is, but it also lacks some of the details that the NES version has. Like in the level with the speeder bikes, when you hit people, in the NES version, the background twitches. Whereas in the Genesis version, the background stays the same. It doesn't twitch at all, so I don't know. It's also missing, like, some of the cutscenes. I mean, I call them cutscenes, but they're more like level transitions. Though I do think that this Battletoads and Double Dragon is a better game than Battletoads. It's more like a Battletoads sequel. And I don't feel like it's as punishing as Battletoads is, and I also feel like the gameplay, though it does not change up as much as Battletoads, where it's like every level is like its own thing. I like the fight in the background there. Because the original Battletoads on the NES, it's almost like, you know, like every level has some kind of weird gimmick, like the cycle, the snakes. It's kind of all over the place with how the game is played. Oh, that sucks. He like homes in on you. Now, as much as I like Rare, I gotta say that old school Rare were full of assholes. They made good games, but at the same time, they also purposely, like, dicked with the player. You know, they were kind of antagonistic in terms of a game developer. And this is usually as far as I get before I get bored. Ah. That being said, though, I still want to play Banjo-Kazooie, even though I hear like that one has some like devious like Easter eggs that you can't do. I still need to play more Conquer and beat Donkey Kong Country 2. How come I can't grab this? What the hell? Do I gotta press up? Do I? There we go. Man. Dun, 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 dun. I don't know, that's my favorite part of the Double Dragon soundtrack is that do 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 do. Oh my god, damn crows. Oh, what? How did I do that uppercut? Is it down and punch? Oh, it is. Oh, it's a one hit. Nice. I'm gonna do that right now. There you go. I can be cheap too, game. Oh, that sucks. He can shoot me multiple times while I'm on the ground. I have no posted invincibility. god, get over there. Hey. Oh, they can hit each other? That's cool. Because Lord knows they're extremely annoying in avoiding... Like, they stay right out of your range and they whip you. Oh, damn. I passed it, too. Jump? Jump, jump! Okay, now I don't have to worry about anything, because I'm invincible! Then again, Rare did make some horrible games, too, like Beetlejuice. They also made Double Dare on the NES. Whoa. That level transition. See, doing this, I get more points. I get like 2,000 points. Doing the uppercut, I can just get 1,000. And the reason why I care about points is the more points you get, the easier it is to get an extra life. Oh wow, it didn't one-hit kill him that time. Shit. Oh, that instantly kills him and gets me 2,000. I might as well just do that. Or sometimes it doesn't instantly kill him. What? Like, what is the consistency of this game, man? Yeah, you do grab her by the hair. I keep hearing rumors of a new Battletoads game. Too. Like, I wonder... I wouldn't mind seeing a new one, I just don't know what it would be. Like, should it be a throwback and be like, 2D gameplay? Like this? And I kind of, like, would prefer that. I don't care if the graphics are 3D, I just care if the gameplay's like this. Or would it be more like the beat-em-ups? I don't think you should make a platformer with Battletoads. Hit him! Oh my god. Dude. What the hell? There you go. Come on, come on, come on, please. Oh, wow. Then again, I also feel like, what could they do that they haven't done before in these Battletoad type games? Oh, the webcam I have? I mean, it was an expensive webcam, even though everyone likes to tell me how, like, fuzzy and cheap it is. I'm like, oh, okay. You know, like... Remember that? I used to stream rocks with people coming and be like, oh, your webcam is so fuzzy and cheap. I'm like, I'm sorry I didn't buy a $1,000 webcam. You know, like... Oh, this other streamer's webcam looks way better than yours. And it's like, yeah, because they put their cam, like, they're not full screened, you know what I mean? and constant capture it. I do have a camcorder. I do have like an HD, like 1080p camcorder. But I don't think it outputs, like it doesn't, I don't think it has an HDMI output, because I guess I could just capture that. But at the end of the day, like, I mean, maybe for the Rocksmith stream that might be something. I don't think it's really necessary for the game stream. Because, again, you know, like, you shrink it so to, like, the corner. You don't have to have it, like, full screen. Yeah, I remember, like, people would come in and be like, and then I'm like, and then that was before, like, other professional musicians were streaming on Twitch, you know, like the Dragon Force guy and shit. And then, like, his webcam's shittier than mine. Like, come on. Like, yeah. That guy has money. I don't. Like, so that's what always blew my mind about people complaining about how cheap my webcam was. And I'm like, yeah, and I'm like, dude, my webcam's like one of the most expensive webcams you can buy. Like, I mean, you can go higher than that, but at that point, you're getting a little crazy. And anyone else who has a better webcam, they didn't have a better webcam, they just had their picture really small. Buy the camcorder and capture it. At that point, though, I think you can get a webcam with the encoding, so you don't need the camcorder. Like, it would still have the... Because the problem with that is if you didn't have a capture card to capture the camcorder. Or if the camcorder doesn't update, like, in real time. Like, it's able to record, but it won't, like, display in real time somewhere. And I hate this level. This is why I always quit. This is when I quit the game, is when I play this level. I get this far, and then it's like, I can never really get any farther. So, my options are to get better at the game. Which, you know, I try to. Like, I play it every now and then, but I don't, like, dedicate my life to try to beat it. So, it's like, I just get farther and farther. Slightly farther every time. Because before, I used to never get to this level. Believe it or not. But then again, that was the thing about streaming Rocksmith, right? Like, everyone's a critic, you know, everyone's like, why don't you have these pickups? Why don't you have this? And like, why don't you have that? I'm like, hey, why don't you donate $1,000 and then I'll go get that shit? Until then, shut the fuck up. Like, you know what I mean? Why don't you have EMG pickups for your thing? Oh, well, donate $600. I'll go buy them right now. Fucking cheapskate motherfucker. Like, why do you give a shit what I have? I have a $2,000 amp and a $1,000 guitar. That's not good enough? Jesus. As if that even mattered anyways, too. It's like, does it really matter how expensive my equipment is? Isn't it how I play the guitar? Which I guarantee you is way better than your fucking whiny ass that only gives a shit about equipment because that's what people who have no skill at the instrument talk about, instead of actually playing the instrument or, like, music theory. That's how you can tell a real poser, is people that only talk about equipment, because that's all they know, because equipment's the easiest thing to look up online or to check out. Why aren't you rocking this guitar with this thing and these strings? And I was like, uh-huh. I'm sorry I'm getting on a little rant about that, but no, it happened quite a lot. So or if you don't like my equipment or the way I play or anything, go watch somebody else. Like, you know, like, why the fuck do I have to conform to what your standards of guitar playing as well as equipment has to be? You know what I mean? Like, I'm just a random guy on the internet here. It's not like you paid any money to come watch me play the guitar, you know? It's not like you hired me for something. You just go find somebody else to watch. Now, what do I owe you? I owe you jack shit. Like, I don't know. I bet that probably still happens, doesn't it, in the music channel to, like, other guys, huh? With your so-called, like, know-it-all armchair guitar players, you know, just like how you have the know-it-all armchair gamer guys that probably can't play the game, but they've seen other people play the game, so they like to tell you how to play the game. I used to go to an arcade and play Street Fighter. Right, I mentioned this story before. How dare thee, right? And like, and I know I said this story before, but it applies as well because it makes perfect sense, right? There was a guy at the arcade who wasn't very good at the game, but he watched a lot of Let's Plays, he watched a lot of other people, you know, like Boxer and Diego and all the big guys that play Street Fighter and how they played the game. And he would repeat ad nauseum exactly what they would say, but not understand why they said what they said or whatever, right? And so he would, and because of this, he would always play top tier. So he'd always play Chun-Li in Street Fighter 3, always. He would never play anything but top tier. Ken, Chun-Li, Yoon. That's it. Never anyone else, because he's not there to have fun playing the game. He's there to win, right? The funny thing was, so he would keep coming up to me while I was playing and tell me to play Chun-Li or Ken instead of Ryu, because Ryu sucks in Street Fighter 3. He's like mid-tier. But I'm like, no, I just want to play as Ryu. He's the character I want to play as. Like, that's what I want to do. And he'd just keep like telling me all this shit about it. And then every fucking tournament, I would kick his ass with Ryu while he was Chun-Li. So like, bottom line is, if you're gonna give advice to people, at least be better at the game than the people that you're giving advice to. You know what I mean? Like, because then you just kind of look like a jackass. And that goes with guitar as well. A lot of the people that give advice about guitar can't play guitar worth shit. And they have to give you advice about it. Because they watched a YouTube video and some guy on YouTube said this and that, so that's clearly how that works. And it's the same mentality of the guy at the arcade that plays a fighting game that sucks ass at it, but just like repeats what they see. That stuff really irks me, man. Like, I get it if you're like the better player, because I would listen to other people that were better than me, but they wouldn't give me like bullshit, stupid advice like play a different character. You know, they would tell me like how to play Ryu effectively. How to play better. Or if you're gonna be that guy that gives advice, you better be better, like, cause like I don't know, you know, I just feel like if you're gonna try and like tell other people how to do stuff, you better be better at them at doing that stuff. You know what I mean? Like, because if you're not, then it just looks pretty bad. Like, take the joy out of it, right? Like, I'm not the end-all be-all at Street Fighter, but if I can beat you 20 times out of 20, don't give me any advice on Street Fighter. Like, you know, like, don't tell me how to play a game that I'm clearly better at you than. Like, don't... Like, that's not a good idea. Oh, is that what people do? They just they spawn camp? But then again, I guess it happens everywhere, right? Like, people talk about StarCraft pros, like, why don't they ever build Ghosts? Why don't they ever do this? Oh, like Vega? And Vega is cheap in Street Fighter 2. You ever fight someone that knows what they're doing as Vega? What they do is they knock you down, and then the guessing game begins, where they do that, like, wall dive thing, but they do it so ambiguously that you don't know what side they're gonna land on, so you don't know what side to block. And it's like, that's what makes Vega like a top level character in Street Fighter 2. Because once he gets that knockdown, you're just fucked. And like, you know, I keep hearing about how cheap Smoke is in Mortal Kombat 3. And granted he is. He has like 60% hit combos, which means that he can basically kill you with 2 hits. All he has to do is hit you twice, initiate the combo, and then you're dead. But I still have to say Cabal, in my opinion, is one of the cheapest characters in Mortal Kombat 3. Yeah, it's a handspring move, that too. The way you beat a Vega player is you control the air. So you gotta make sure, you gotta stop him from jumping. Like, you gotta take the fight to him in the air and stop him from doing those stupid dives. And then if you do get knocked down, then you gotta be the master, especially if you're like Ryu or Ken, the master of Wake Up Shoryuken, and you have basically 1 frame to do it. Like, you have a very short time period to do the uppercut. Either that or play Chun-Li. Chun-Li takes a good fight to Vega. Her air control is pretty nice. Same with Smoke. See, I used to be really good at fighting games, or like, I mean, I'm definitely better at Street Fighter 3 now than I ever was, but like, used to I was pretty good on almost every fighting game. Like, I knew how to do all the bullshit combos. Damn it. Now it's like, I can't really, like, I don't really play them anymore enough to really get that comfortable with them again. Like, but I used to be, like, pretty solid in Mortal Kombat. I knew all the moves, all the combos, all the fatalities. Like, I could play any character, so I'd play, like, Shang Tsung and morph into characters and do that trick where you would morph into characters mid-combo to do an even more bullshit combo. Because I played so much Mortal Kombat 2 on the Super Nintendo. Michael Myers? I don't think so. I know Jason's been in a Mortal Kombat. And I know Freddy's been in a Mortal Kombat. Fuck, Michael Myers might as well be. I know there's like a fan game where they have all like movie monsters fight each other, and it's kind of like Mortal Kombat. Like, they have like Pinhead and Michael Myers and like the guy from the old man from Phantasm. That's totally unlicensed, but I don't think anyone's gonna shut it down. Also, it's kind of janky anyways, so it's not like, you know, it's just kind of a fan game for fun. Kind of like, god damn, what's that other game called? No, not the guy from Phantasmagoria, the guy from, the old man from Phantasm. Man, do you think they'll ever make a sequel to Phantasmagoria?